Welcome to the ToolHound Learning Center, a set of resources to help you get started using ToolHound 5. Core Principles. In this video, we'll look at locations and visibility, inventory types, part numbers and IDs, personnel and employers. ToolHound can use multiple types of locations to create a hierarchy to group other locations, house inventory, or have inventory issued to it. These hierarchies designate a scope or area of visibility. Part numbers, personnel, and employers are all designated a visibility to define the inventory visible to them. In most cases, you will need to create a hierarchy of two levels, your organization at the top and the stocking point, also known as the issue location or tool crib, as a child of the organization in the hierarchy. All inventory and personnel should then have the visibility set to the organization. With this method, you have the freedom to issue inventory to other locations rather than personnel, or as well as personnel. More complex hierarchies can be created when there are multiple tool cribs where the visibility needs to be restricted. For example, tool crib A and B are on the same job site in a region of the country, which are all defined as locations. The job site is above the tool cribs in the hierarchy, and the region of the country encompasses one or more job sites. Personnel granted the visibility for the location tool crib A won't be able to access the inventory in tool crib B, but personnel given visibility for the job site will be able to access inventory in either crib. Inventory types are broad classifications or families of assets used to define the behavior of part numbers. There are 4 basic types, but variants can be created to suit the organization. Serialized inventory types are unique assets, often having serial numbers, where every issue and return is tracked individually. Inventory requiring service is serialized. Examples include vehicles, man lifts, or power tools. Consumable inventory types include assets expected to be used, sometimes in the fabrication or repair of something else and not returned. Consumable items are frequently issued in quantities of more than one. Examples include safety tape, gloves, cans of lubricant, or O-rings. Bulk inventory types are smaller, less expensive assets that are expected to be returned but will not be tracked individually. Examples include hand tools, signage, or caulking guns. Non-stock inventory types are used for assets not physically in stock but that need to be supplied and recorded, usually for billing purposes. Examples include miles, labor or people, or meals. Each item of inventory is identified by a part number and a primary ID and has a visibility. Each part number identifies a group of items with common characteristics. Frequently, the model number or vendor part number is used as a part number, but any existing numbering system can be continued. A primary asset ID, or ID, identifies unique items or a group of the same non-unique items. ToolHound can track alternate IDs when there is more than one method of identifying inventory, but most of the time you'll use only the primary asset ID. Examples of alternate IDs are UPC codes, passive or active RFID tags, brass tags, or engraved numbers. To illustrate part numbers and IDs for serialized items, consider a vehicle. The part number would be F-150 and the ID would be the license plate. We can have many F-150 trucks, but each one will only have one plate. Each part number will have multiple primary IDs. For all other inventory types, one primary ID is assigned per part number because each piece is not tracked individually. There is a one-to-one relationship between the part number and the ID. Personnel, also known as crafts or trades, are the people who will be taking and returning the inventory in your stocking location or tool crib. To support accountability, the framework has to be created. Before adding personnel, their employers must first be added. Some organizations will be issuing inventory to employees from multiple contractors on site. If this is not the case, your organization will be the only contractor. Visibility is set at the employer level and at the personnel level. Unless you have a complex location hierarchy, the visibility will be the same for both. Supervisors must be entered as personnel so that they can be assigned to their subordinates. Multiple levels are supported, but keep in mind that the more levels of supervisors you have, it affects the readability of certain reports when sorting or grouping by supervisor. Okay, so let's review. We've had a look at locations and visibility, the 4 inventory types, the relationship between part numbers and IDs, and employers and personnel. Thanks for watching this video from the ToolHound Learning Center.